There you are. And this is Deb's shed, a very special project that we just finished. This was actually for family, for my sister-in-law. Love you, Colleen. And this is for a very special friend. And we just finished it. In this video, we have 3 goals. Number 1 is to show you how to do it. Number 2 are the tools to do it. And number 3, and most importantly, be entertained while you learn. That's what it's all about. So that being said, to our amazing family of supporters, welcome back home. And if you're new here, well, this is where the fun begins. Now, LaRue, where is that owl? Well, hello, LaRue. What songs do you sing us today?
All of the people say, hey, what's going on today? Down in Wowwy'z workshop. Where we use art each day to chase the blues away. Down in Wowwy'z workshop. Brought to you by 2 brothers, 1 vision.
That special shout out goes to Bubba, helping an old dog learn some new tricks. And I appreciate you, Bub. Thank you kindly. And now, the project. This is Deb's shed. They asked me, my sister-in-law Colleen asked me to do a very, very special sign for her good friend. And it's for a she shed, a special little place for Deb. This is the lady's name, and she loves raccoons. And they gave me just freestyle, you know, it's up to me how I do it. And so I got this board from Windsor Plywood, and it is 12 by 1. Like, it's just, the big thing about this project, guys, is that I have 1 inch of thickness to do this in. And so that's my main challenge, is how am I going to do this and make it look as 3D as I can, but with, like I say, 1 inch of thickness. Okay? I don't know yet if I'm going to do words on either side and maybe a raccoon in the middle. See, that's not very thick. But we're going to get her figured out. And now look a little leftover piece up here. Let me just say here. I got plans for that. Look at you. You little gray bastard, you. Say hi to the YouTube world there, Bubba. How about you, Noni? Alright, guys, well, you see, I got myself one of these. This one's Artly. Screenshot that if you want it, but just off Amazon. And I want to see if it's going to help. See, there's the board there. But, because I can draw a bit, so messing with this thing frustrates me, and then I usually end up just putting it away and drawing it. But I'm going to try, but I already had to mess with it because the back of the chair was slanted. So I'm already pissing around with making this board more plumb up and down. But anyways, that's what I'm going to try and do here and get the image onto the wood. Hi, Noni. Say hi. Yeah. You're a good girl. Okay, guys. See how she goes. Artly. All right, after some frickin' and frackin', we got him on there. You know, projectors, I'm just going to say, sometimes it might be faster if I just sit there and draw it. Okay, he's on there. Let's get going. Before I get too carried away, I'm just going to give you a really quick little look at the machines that I'm running with and how I got them set up very, very quickly. This is just for the beginners. I have a bad back, so I stand when I carve. This is the suction box. So we'll just do that really quick. Alrighty. So, rotary tool. This is a Dremel, this is a Black & Decker, this is a Fordham. I actually have all of them hanging on one big hook. Got my wood burner up there. But, so you have to start with a rotary tool, and then you get a flex shaft. And I always use Dremel Flexshaft. And that flex shaft goes to this little hanger that I created. And it just holds the hand pieces. So this, and this are Dremel Flexshaft. And this is the Fordham. For sanding, I use Blair Mandrels, sanding mandrels. You can buy cheap ones on Amazon. You run them at low. So I have my sander attached to this Black & Decker because I just like the low speed that they have. And that's how you begin. This is your magic wand. This is how you do her. And the burrs, obviously, are a big part of it. This is my suction box. That is connected. It goes through a cyclone. Most of the material goes down into that drum. And that is the suction dust collector. Okay? And then I also have a shop vac that's the small version from Canadian Tire that also fits on there. So boom, boom, boom. And then I got my palm sander, orbital sander, and drill on that bottom shelf. And that is the creation station, you see? Wood burning hand pieces, shelves, little drawers for everything, all your glues and stains. And then this pegboard workstation, well, I just made little shelves to go across the back to hold all the burrs. Ooh. And music, stickers, stuff that's important to me. Check out that new one. Whoa, yes. And then on this side, I got a micro carver, a Ram Power micro carver. I bought that off Jordy. Some of the smaller burrs, my brushes, my pencils. That, folks, is just a quick rundown of the creation station and the tools that I use to power carve. And to begin, it is with the Kutzall Flame Extreme. And you're going to cut the main outline and take away as much material as you can with the 1 inch that we have to play with. So there I am, just cutting the main outline in there and getting that little baby to pop. Pop the best I can anyways. Next, moving on, I use the Carbide cutter to do the little, I guess it'd be called stop cuts. It's like the main cut and the main outline cut around everything to define everything. And like, so because I'm a pencil drawer, I just like these little Carbide cutting burrs to do that. It's kind of like, it feels natural in my hand doing that. And so that's the one. They come in sets. I got a couple of sets for like $20. You'll get like 20 burrs, and they're metalworking burrs. And that's how you find them on Amazon or wherever you're looking, eBay. And next I'm switching to this Dremel Diamond 7144 burr, and it's an example of using the shape of the burr to your advantage for these little lines in between the fingers there. I'm using it kind of on its side to make the main cut line in there. I love these burrs for detailing. I've grown really accustomed to the 7144. And then I took myself out to the beautiful sunshine to figure out the font and lettering here. My favorite number being 3, I like to hide it, so the E's are backwards 3. And I figured that out. And so I just taped this together. I don't use this stuff very often, but if I'm going to be making signs and stuff like this thing, it's going to help me along the way, so I might as well give it a go. So I'm going to get this all on, taped so it don't move on me, and get those letters on. Get to carving. Do it to it. Look at that little guy. Look at him. Look at his heart. Oh, look at his little hands. Oh, my goodness. Folks, day 3. So, looking at it today, yesterday I was like, I was, you know, when you look at something for too long, you start hating it. That's how I felt yesterday. But basically, I got kind of a good, sorry for the camera, I kind of got a good little process down. It was like basically, it's like, you know, the chainsaw carvers, they call the blocking out. The blocking out of a piece comes first, and then you do the detail comes second, right? So it's kind of like I blocked it all out with this. And you know what I found is that as I was like first doing the very, very first cuts, I went really, really soft. And you know what, like even, I was very, very surprised that just repetition with a soft touch, and I followed the lines very, very easily, where if you just were to push right down and try and go all the way down, you know, it's not going to work for you. So, and I'm used to it as a drawer, I'm used to doing things like shading for hours, right? The muscle movement, it's not my left hand, my right hand is I use, but so I'm used to doing that. Now, all I can say is that power carving, I go away in my brain for a little while because I suffer with chronic pain. And the process of going away and having to be ultra aware because it can be dangerous and everything else, it's an escape for me. So I use this process as therapy. Okay, let's continue on. I'm sorry for that. But yeah, I've been going around the edges with this, okay? This is what I was trying to say. Jeez, 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Breathe, Larry. Block her out with this, then go around the sides with this, and it's given me a very nice, clean, up and down, nice straight edge. So basically that's what I'm doing now, is going around with that bad boy and cleaning each letter up. Doing the detailing. Okay. So let's talk about this guy. Now, the more and more I've looked at him, I am going to go, even though it's kind of a relief carving, I am going to go in some stages. And the more that I look at him, it's kind of figured it out that, sorry for this light. Is it better like this? Okay. So it's like 3 stages. That's number 1. That's the furthest out, right? And then his little muzzle. So I'm going to kind of go down in steps. I'll cut that first and then take away some material. I haven't figured out if I'm going to ask Katie, but I wonder if I should leave material there to represent the whiskers. So in the end they're there and I can like, or do I have to figure that out about the whiskers. But see, that would be level 2, right? And then, well, no, 1, 2, yeah, okay, so this would be 3, and then the far edge and the ear would be 4. So I'm kind of going down in steps. I only got, what, 1.25 inches, how much this wood is to work with. But if you just do it very, very subtly with just, I'm going to use the balls, the kutzall balls, and I'm going to just do it very, very subtly, but it will make a lot of difference in the end than just whatever have you, burning it on and just leaving it flat. Or I'm just going to do it this way and we're going to see how it goes. Okay. And I just get right to it. I cut around the whisker lines with the small carbide cutter. Then I move on to the kutzall fine sphere. And I start making those differences in the depths. And I don't have a lot of material to work with, but every little bit counts in the end. You'll see it with the shadows. You see how it's starting to happen there? Along these edges, I'm going to use a wood burner so that when we stain them, the different colors it'll help separate them and just have a crisp. I keep drawing the lines back on, but in the end I'm going to burn them. So we're getting very close, guys. Very close. I'm just gonna continue on here. And so I decided to sit out here in the sun, break out the hand tools, and use my little flexcut set. It's such an awesome little set. It has the little ball grip, and then you change the different heads on it. I think it has like 8 or 9. I really love it. And then I have the stropping set to keep it sharp. But yeah, the levels now here that I'm trying to change are just so minute. And I figured like using the power carving was maybe a bit aggressive, so I wanted to go in here and use the more fine-tuning tools. And plus, I just love doing it. I love sitting here and doing it. It's my therapy. And I sure appreciate you, y'all coming along with me, seeing how we done did it. So yeah, I'm just getting a good tan and in my zen place. I'm gonna clean up around the edges here before the end of the day, and tomorrow take a look at it through fresh eyes. See you then. And here we go, transported to the next day. And I've lost count, these projects, because I only do a bit at a time each day, and only on the days that I'm allowed, with my situation. It just becomes a blur. Look at that old guy. He's coming to life. And what I keep telling myself is, you're doing this, kid, with an inch of material. So be gentle to yourself, because I think I'm doing a good job on this. I've never done a raccoon before. I have never done something with this thin on. This is a bunch of firsts, right? So now what I have to do is I gotta redraw the eyes on. There's a line like that you cut first, and then the eye is sunken past that yet. So it's like a 2-step deal. So I'm gonna do that, then cut them in, and then lo and behold, we get to the point where we do some wood burning and we start staining and finishing ideas. We're getting there, guys. Old Deb's shed, it'll never be the same once we're done with it. 2 brothers, 1 vision. Let's go. And then I looked at my reference, and the markings, the different markings on their face there, the difference between where it's white and black. I sketched them back in there, and then after I did where the eyes should be, popped into my head again, and I saw everything a lot clearly again. So that's where we are. Time to finish drawing and then cut them in. And just quickly before I do this, I'm going to cut that top longer kind of S line. I'm going to cut that first, remove the cut mark, draw back in the bottom, and then cut. So you cut so that you can still see the pencil mark. Now, why you don't do it all at once? Well, you could, but I'm going to show you why. It's just one little tiny extra step in that layering that we've been putting so much time into. All right, now shut the frick up, Wowie, and do it to it. after a lot of frickin' and frackin', we're to this point. Yeah, I'm stoked. Wowwy'z happy. It's working out. You see, it's just a little, very, very subtle, but gives that little pop of shadow. And that's where we're to the point now, is just shadow play, guys. Finishing up, getting in there, doing some little undercuts where I can. But I made a challenge not to punch through this thing at any spot. Now I got to sand and put all Wowwy'z love in there. And then here on either side, I brought it up a bit and sanded it up. The angles that go up will make a lot of, whew, okay, I'm gonna go and have a break. Much love, everybody. Gonna have a little look over here. A once over, a Wowwy once over. No, I think it's time, guys. It's time to start wood burning. Pull the Razertip out. Let's do it. Alrighty, folks, here we are. It is time to start playing with some stain. It is stain time. And looky here, all my colors, what do they come in? This very, very special thing here. This little kit, this little toolbox. And those there are the twiddlebugs. Now those guys, those little critters lived in Ernie and Bert's flower bed. And it's a family, get this, it's a family that always has a problem to figure out, but they come together as the family and they always solve the problem. Kind of cool, eh? So, I've always loved this little kit. Okay, so, what colors do I got? I got this here. Is going to be this Colonial Americana or something. That is going to be the main wood stain. And then I have this stain and it's true black. And then I have this one and it's ebony. So this one here is a little bit more see-through than this one. Okay? And then I have the also Minwax. I have white. Simply white. And also in the Minwax I have gray. So as most of you all know, raccoons are black, white, gray, and then we're going to have the nice rich brown. And as for the raised letters, I plan on using the Sedona red just to give them a little pop and a little difference. I did that for a piece. I did a tribute piece for George from the woodworking group where we were all a part of. A lot of us were a part of the old Carbon Fusion group, and I did a memorial piece for George, and I did it that way with the darker brown background, and I did the letters in the red, and it really looked nice. I did a G like that. So that's going to be my plan for this, and a little shout out to George. Okay, guys, that's the plan. Let's put you in the overhead and see if I can't make a mess here. And that's when it occurred to me, hey, wow, you better get the signature about on there, the Two Brothers One Vision signature done, or else you're going to be all working on finishing the face of it and then putting it on its face to do the signature and scratch it. All right, none of that. And here we go, guys. What can I say about the staining? Well, watching it is probably like watching paint dry, so I figured that I'd put this into the kicker into high speed and just go, and sort of let you see it as it evolved in stages. Took a long time, especially, you know, getting around those letters so nicely. And then I started with the white. What can I say about white? You have to constantly be mixing it. This is white Minwax stain. So, and I didn't want to use any acrylic paints. Sometimes, if in my own pieces, I can see the difference where paint and stain is, and I didn't want that. I wanted it all stain to give it just that little bit of a classy look, what I think is anyways. So we got the white done, but after it dries, I'm gonna have to come and put a second coat on there, make it solid. Yep, Wowie approved. And now this is the first layer of the ebony. Now there's kind of two different, I decided to use ebony as the gray, and so there's kind of two different degrees of black in the raccoon's coloring. And so it's kind of subtle, but in the end you're going to see that it does make a little difference. Well, it makes a lot of difference, and it pops, right? It makes it pop. That's what it's all about, guys. A little bit of pop, a little bit of shadow, a little bit of pop. Make that little bugger look like he's going to jump right off there and hug you, right? That's what we're going for. Okay. All right now. Next day, let that dry. I was just hitting it a little bit with some steel wool there to give it some, 3D. It's kind of like the opposite of adding shading. It's kind of doing the opposite, just little bits here and there, and where the hair would come down and kind of have the white at the tips. But yeah, I'm stoked with them. I really got to get this project finished. Lots going on in old Wowwy'z life right now, and I've been spending a lot of time with family and at the hospital with my brother. So this is true black, and there's two spots here that are left that were solid black in my original picture that I was looking at. And then inside of the ears, obviously, will be solid black. And then the eyes, like, I don't know how quick this travels. We'll see what happens. I will use this up here, get a feel for this tone, and we'll just get this done. And the nose obviously has to be pure black. Okay, we're doing our doer. And after doing a little bit of research, because you know what, I was gonna try some other stuff, some spray Rust-Oleum. I thought about this after all this work and effort that has been invested. I gotta do it right. I've used Minwax stain, so I'm gonna use a Minwax sealer. 32 bucks later, whatever. We're doing it right, guys. We're doing it right, so we're doing it in the polyacrylic. Matte, I don't want it too shiny. Matte sealer. There she be, guys. Next day, she is finished. It's just how I wanted it. I didn't want it super shiny. That's the matte. and it's just exactly how I hoped it would turn out. Now we rigger, and we've got something really cool and special in store. If it works out, it's still in my brain. Here we go. And a couple felt pads here, just so that the back doesn't get scratched by the surface and the surface doesn't get scratched by the sign. Just a little added touch there. And to finish it off, oh yeah, a little touch of class. Yeah. And with that, folks, we're calling this project complete. I want to thank you guys for watching and taking this journey with us. The greatest hope with these videos is that it's going to inspire somebody out there, and you're going to try yourself. Because believe me, if you dedicate to it and you really want to do it, you're going to do it. Guaranteed. And I want to make a heartfelt thank you to all of our supporters. As you guys, a lot of you know, Two Brothers One Vision has been facing a lot lately with my brother's health, and we've just all wolf packed up, and we're getting through it. And we really appreciate you guys' patience with the channel and being here. We don't say it lightly when we say your family. There is no YouTube without you. Much love. Look at him. Yeah, look at him.